Hi, gang. It's Patrick.
And Adam.
Coming up on today's episode, we celebrate our final recording of Gays Do the D. April Fools! We chat about the latest Disney news and rumors, and we give our spoiler-free review of the live-action Dumbo. As always, we close out the show with some quick D. All that and more on today's episode of Gays Do the D.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
Hey, Adam.
Hey, Patrick.
What's up, yo?
I'll tell you what's up. We have a jam-packed show.
It's so packed.
So packed.
Oh, dear. You make that sound horrifying.
Could be.
Okay, well.
I mean, we'll see at the end of the episode.
Yeah, usually most of our episodes are pretty horrifying.
Terrifying.
Uh-oh. I literally just saw you about 10 hours ago.
Just a mere 10 hours.
And this is too much for me.
I know, it's a lot,
It's a
isn't
lot.
it?
Mhm,
Yeah, I know.
mhm.
We tire of each other easily.
Yeah.
You should see us at the end of trips to Walt Disney World. Not even talking to each other, constantly checking our phones. I hate you.
Thank you.
No, it's not true. I love you.
Oh, very dare you.
I love you.
No, I love you too.
Oh, April Fools.
Oh, no. This episode is terrible already.
It's going to be chock-a-block full of April Fool's references.
Yeah, it's true.
And for anyone who's listening after April 1st, which is when this episode drops, sorry about it, but
Sorry, not sorry.
it's my mindset, April Fools.
Yeah, and this is our last episode as well.
Right. Wait a minute. What?
April Fools.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Okay.
if you can't take it, don't dish it out, Adam.
That's what's said in a lot of church basements.
Oh, dear. We should
Hot dish.
correct the ship here
Okay,
and get
all
back
right.
on track. What do you say?
You're right.
And of course, the main topic of our episode will be our spoiler-free review of Dumbo.
Or will it? April Fools. We don't know.
Who can say?
No, we know.
Stay
We
tuned.
know.
Stay tuned, folks.
Spoiler alert, it will be that.
Before we get to that, though,
Yes?
oh, I feel like there's going to be an explosion happening behind me or something. April Fools.
Oh, no. No, I would never do that to you.
Okay, great.
Or would I? April Fools.
Oh gosh, I'm so nervous.
Inception.
Oh my god. All kidding aside, I really enjoy you being here today.
Oh, thank you so much.
April Fools.
Okay.
Let's move on, shall we?
let's.
We have some anniversaries to announce.
Oh, I love it.
What do you say we hop into those?
Okay.
So first of all, we have Home on the Range turns 15 years old. It was released on April 2nd, 2004.
That's another one I've never seen.
It's all about those animals, the barnyard animals.
Kind of a lost movie. I know people know of it.
Yeah.
Kind of like a Brave Little Toaster situation. I don't really know what's like when, and now I know when it was released, but I have no concept of it. I think there was a large portion of my life. Let me dig into this, Patrick.
Oh, okay, here we
I
go.
think there was a large portion of my life between high school and college where I was distracted with other things.
Yeah,
and
drugs.
that's when these so much
Robbery.
Still, I can't stop. Now that I've got a taste for it, I can't stop.
I understand.
But there was a large portion of my life where this kind of fell off my radar, and then I became much more of a fan again as an adult.
Fair enough. I think you may have lost a lot of friends by folding in the Brave Little Toaster.
Oh, really? You
Yeah,
think so?
because that's a very dear movie to a lot of people's hearts.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, I know people know of these movies and truly love them. I just was not aware of them when they came out.
Fair enough. It's chock-a-block, to use your phrase.
Yeah.
Full of amazing actors. Steve Buscemi,
Oh, wow.
Dame Judi Dench,
Wow.
Cuba Gooding Jr., Estelle Harris. I mean, it's crazy, the voice talent in this movie.
That is incredible. Now
I know.
I feel terrible now.
Well, I feel like there was a moment in Disney's history where they weren't full-on marketing heavily these movies, or, like you said, we were just in a weird age
Right.
range where it wasn't hitting our radar.
Right. Steve Buscemi, huh?
Yeah.
So this was like a very dark, gritty underworld cartoon.
Yeah, it was pretty much like Reservoir Dogs.
That's what I'm picturing in my head now.
Disney style.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moving on, we have a Goofy movie turns 24 years old. It was released on April 7th, 1995.
Gosh. Now, this one I've seen,
Okay,
and
I
I'll
was
tell
gonna
you
say.
why. In fact, I just saw it for the first time about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
When I started dating my boyfriend, Matthew,
Oh,
who claimed that a Goofy movie is a Disney classic.
that's an aggressive word for what this movie is. Although, again, this is another movie that's very dear to a lot of people. And
Absolutely is.
It's a great movie.
Absolutely is. I think I may be 5 to 10 years just shy of fully appreciating this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've seen this one, and emotional journey.
Yeah, it's an interesting movie. I liken it to Oliver and Company in that Oliver and Company was very 80s.
Yeah.
And this movie is so 90s. It's crazy.
It is very 90s.
All of the singing was that.
Yep, which I'm really into. I still am into the 90s music. That's
for
what
sure.
I love.
And that song, the Eye to Eye, for the first time ever. I love that song. It's
keep
so
going.
good.
Do you want to keep going?
We're seeing it eye to eye.
You sound so good on singing that.
Thank you so much.
Oh, April Fools.
Oh, no. Oh,
no, but
no.
here's what I will say about a Goofy movie.
Yeah.
It features a family of dogs. Dogs, not cows.
Wow.
Yeah.
We fully went full circle on that.
Yeah, no
one.
April Fools. It is all dogs.
Goofy is a dog all day long.
I liked it. I didn't love watching a Goofy movie, but again, I think I may have been not its target audience at the time.
Fair enough. Fun fact, the voice of Max is Jason Marsden, who voiced Thackeray Binks in Hocus Pocus. He was not the physical actor at the beginning of the movie, but he voiced the cat in the movie.
Is that the same guy who was on Full House who was dating DJ? He was like the rich kid?
No, that was his character name was Steve, right?
No, not Steve. Was like the kid who ate everything and was very athletic. It was after Steve. It was post Steve.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
After DJ and Steve broke up, there was another guy who came on who was like who had a private jet and everything.
I think that we need an intervention here on you and Full House.
Well,
That's a lot of details.
I may have binged the entire series and have segued into Fuller House now.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Team DJ Stay Single. That's what team I'm on. Team
Please
DJ
let this
Single.
be an April Fool's joke. Please let this be an April Fool's joke.
And silence. Tumbleweed.
This might be our last episode because I've lost all respect for you. Although, wasn't Steve the voice of Aladdin?
He was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Not the singing voice, just the acting voice. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I had such a crush on him.
Have you seen Fuller House?
Well, no, because I respect my eyes and ears.
He's still looking pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for you for watching it.
But I will say who looks the best on that show is Kimmy Gibbler's brother, Jimmy Gibbler.
Oh my gosh. I can't with you right now.
Patrick, I'm telling you, Jimmy Gibbler is fine.
Well, you'd have to be with a name like that.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
He's so fit.
We have to move on because I can't talk about Full House anymore with
I
you.
could. We're pivoting to a Full House podcast. Fuller House.
Oh, no. Gays do the house.
DJ's last name in Fuller House is Fuller.
Oh, no.
Her husband's last name was Fuller.
I need any of the writers on this show to quit their jobs and jump right off a cliff.
It is art.
Is it?
So traveling back to last week's episode, Patrick.
Yes.
When we had our dear, dear friends, Amanda and Ben, on the podcast.
Are they, though?
They are.
Oh, okay. All right.
No April Fools. They are.
Fair enough.
They came to tell us all about their recent trip to Walt Disney World.
True story.
And for our Quick D segment, you had posed the question, who are you going to choose as the new narrator for Spaceship Earth? Because Spaceship Earth is going through a rumored refurb soon, right?
Yes.
And so you had asked, who would you cast as the narrator for the new version of Spaceship Earth?
Correct.
And we went around the table and discussed it. There were some really interesting choices.
Yeah, you were all wrong.
You know who was right? Our dear friend Tony, who you can find on Instagram at Anthony of Agrabah, because he wrote in and said his Spaceship Earth top 3 dream narrator selections would be, I mean, these put us all to shame. Morgan Freeman.
I mean, yeah.
Morgan Freeman, okay.
Yeah, of course.
Former President Barack Obama.
Oh, yes, Queen.
That would be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like the most obvious one. Oprah.
Oh,
Oprah.
How do we not think of that?
How perfect would Oprah be?
She'd be perfect.
Yeah. So, Tony, those were perfect choices.
Thank the Phoenicians. That was the worst Oprah ever. I'm sorry to anybody out there.
No, I loved it. It was adequate.
You get a Phoenician, and you get a Phoenician.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
Why not? Check under your chairs, folks. Oh, no. Oprah, if you're listening, and you clearly are.
She probably is.
She's our one listener.
Yep.
Listener?
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that.
Yes, Miss Winfrey, we apologize.
What do you say we move on to a few shout-outs?
Please.
I wanted to give a quick shout-out to our Atlanta boys. I'm going to call them our Atlanta Ds.
Okay.
Mark, Roger, and Kale are all, I believe, going to be in Disney World while I'm there. And so we've been planning maybe a quick little meetup, a little hello.
Fun. Yes, you should.
I'm excited about that. They've been so nice. And of course, Mark and Roger were the ones who sent us those amazing skincare products.
Do I look 10 years younger?
You look at maximum 10 minutes younger.
I'll take it.
Okay.
I will take that.
Great.
And thank you.
So, hey, boys, I hope that you do make it in April. I guess this will be next week now.
Yes.
And if you're there, I'll say hello.
So exciting.
So exciting.
Take some buttons, Patrick.
What do you mean?
Some Gays Do the D buttons.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And if anyone else is going to be in Walt Disney World during Patrick's visit next week, what are the actual dates?
April 4th through the 9th.
April 4th through the 9th. Please reach out to us on social media at GDTD Podcast or via email at info@gaysdothed.com and let Patrick know that you're going to be there so that he can find you somewhere in the parks.
Yeah, I'll throw a button right at your face.
Yes, but the pin part will be closed.
Will it, though?
No damage done.
Okay.
Danger, Patrick.
Is that what I'm supposed to do? Because I did it incorrectly
Always
last time.
close the pin portion before you throw the buttons.
Always be closing.
Thank you.
Speaking of my trip, so in 2 episodes from now, we'll be doing a full trip recap.
Yes.
And I would love to know from some of our listeners while I'm there in the parks, what are some things you want me to do, or what are some foods you want me to try and report back on? So hit me up on social media, on Instagram. It's Patrick Kazuki, just my name, super easy, just like me. I mean, and let me know what you want me to put in my mouth.
Oh, dear. Legal things? Are these all legal things, or
Who can say?
Disney related, or
Who can say?
Okay, you are very open to anything that comes your way.
I've heard that a lot. It's written on a lot of walls across the nation. So yeah, like I said, feel free to DM me at my Instagram or contact both of us at GDTD Podcast, and we'll do sort of a choose your Patrick's adventure situation.
I love it.
Thank you so much. But remember, I'm not a strong swimmer.
Oh, that's right. Please keep that in mind.
Yeah. So no swimming related suggestions, but beyond that, I will do almost anything.
Brave. Such a brave little toaster.
Aww.
Hey, Patrick.
Yes?
Let's dive into some news.
I'm so frightened. Every year, the HRC, that's the Human Rights Campaign, evaluates and scores companies based on corporate policies and practices related to LGBTQ workplace equality. This year, the Walt Disney Company has earned a perfect score of 100 in the HRC's 2019 Corporate Equality Index.
That's an A+. That's a gold sticker.
A++++++. That's a reference from A Christmas Story? Nope. Okay, moving on. They were recognized as a best place to work for LGBTQ equality. Some of the policies and practices that are evaluated are workforce protections, domestic partner benefits, transgender inclusive healthcare benefits, and public engagements with the LGBTQ community. Disney has met all of these standards and has consistently evolved its practices over the years. This will be the 13th year in a row they've received this perfect score of 100.
Wow, I like that word evolved. I like that. Let's just keep evolving, please.
Exactly. As we evolve as a community of what we see as standards, they have fully kept up with us. It's
That's
amazing.
great.
Yeah, good job, Disney. Not only does Disney provide an inclusive environment within its walls, they also believe in providing assistance to outside programs and nonprofit organizations, including the Trevor Project, GLSEN, GLAD, and Out and Equal Workplace Advocates, just to name a few. A quote from the Senior Vice President and Chief Diversity Officer at Disney, Latondra Newton: "We are committed to creating and sustaining a welcoming environment for all our employees, and we are proud of our longstanding commitment to LGBTQ workplace equality and recognize that we thrive when all people are valued and encouraged."
Hear, hear.
Well said, Latondra.
Yes.
I am a big fan of you. To learn more about HRC, you can visit their website, hrc.org.
What would your HRC score be, Patrick?
3.
Oh, dear. You've got some work to do.
So angry with myself all the time.
Beginning May 1st, 2019, some big changes will be going into effect in Disney parks.
Tell me all about it.
I will. First up, designated smoking areas will be eliminated from within the Disney parks and water parks, the ESPN Wide World of Sports complex, and both Downtown Disney in Disneyland and Disney Springs in Walt Disney World.
Wow, that's huge.
Those that smoke will be required to head to smoking areas outside of the entrances to each of these locations to light up. Smoking areas will still be available for guests or those that have reservations at Disney resort hotels. But just quit, really. I mean...
It's that simple.
Just quit. I used to smoke, and I did it. I'll give you all of my tips and tricks.
Oh.
Tip number 1, eat everything in sight. That helps.
Yeah. Are you the new Surgeon General?
I'm probably more qualified than the existing Surgeon General.
I need a general surgeon, I guess,
you
if
do.
you have any
have a lot of
recommendations.
maladies that need to be resolved as quickly as possible. Second, Disney will restrict the size of strollers, requiring them to be no larger than 31 inches wide and 52 inches long. Many strollers on the market fit within these guidelines. Disney will also put a no wagons policy into effect, which includes stroller wagons.
Wow, these are some big swings.
Obviously, the smoking thing clearly needs to happen.
Yeah.
For everyone's health.
Fair enough.
The stroller thing is becoming a bit of an issue. I've seen some tanks in the parks lately. Those parents are not messing around.
Yeah.
And I realize you've got kids and you need to have a lot of things at your disposal should the kids need something.
Yeah.
But I think some of those strollers are just getting enormous.
Yeah, when it becomes restrictive to other guests at your own pleasure, I think that's when it becomes a problem. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and let's face it, there's not a ton of space in the parks, right? Like some of
Right.
those pathways can be very narrow, and you have no choice when a giant stroller is coming your way just to like jump over a fence or crouch in a corner and let them pass.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're going to do about your stroller, though, Patrick. We're probably just going to have to... You're probably going to have to start walking, buddy.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Sorry about it.
Okay.
Third, and most important, as of March 28, guests can no longer bring loose or dry ice into the parks. Reusable ice packs are permitted.
Who's bringing dry ice?
Maybe someone wants to make the Haunted Mansion super spooky?
That is the weirdest thing I've ever heard of. Listener, are you bringing dried ice to the
Yeah.
parks? And if so, tell me why.
Science experiment?
Previously, we reported on Disney's efforts to celebrate International Women's Day in the parks, and we both sort of expressed that we were hoping for more from Disney, right?
Yeah.
However, what we didn't report on because we simply didn't know were the efforts to celebrate and support women behind the scenes at Disney. On March 8th, International Women's Day, Disney hosted over 100 events around the world for cast members to celebrate women behind the magic. I love that term.
Yeah, but I'm so woke. I want them to be in front of the magic.
Yeah, fair enough. Organized by the Women's Inclusion Network at Disney Parks Experiences and Products, the events were committed to the inclusion and empowerment of all cast members and making sure that their voices are heard and their efforts are valued. Events included speaking panels, networking opportunities, and wellness and career resource sessions. Inspired by the success of the events, Disney will be launching a new campaign and series on the Disney Parks blog called Women Behind the Magic. The series will showcase the many talented and inspiring women behind the magic at Disney. The series will debut later this month, and you can search for it on the Disney Parks blog using the hashtag Women Behind the Magic.
This is fantastic. I'm curious why Disney didn't announce this as part of their International Women's Day programs.
I wonder if this was maybe bigger than they anticipated, and so it inspired them to go, we need to tell people about this and keep the ball rolling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not surprised that it was a big success, and it's something they want to continue to pursue.
For sure. Hopefully they, like we have talked about, push it in front of the parks, and so make it more of an event that we non-cast members can participate in.
Yeah, did I sound smug with my woke joke? I made a woke joke.
Not at all.
Sorry, I just wanted to make a woke joke.
I'm just glad you're awake ever.
I'm a sleepy, sleepy bear.
Fair enough.
And I just have one more thing to say.
Oh, he's falling asleep again. Oh, bye.
Patrick, I have some excellent news.
Where are you going with this? I can't tell.
Extravaganza is returning to
Ooh.
Disneyland Resort. The popular egg-themed scavenger hunt will take place April 5th through the 21st, 2019, across Disneyland, Disney California Adventure, and Downtown Disney.
Wow.
Guests can pick up a map and stickers for $6.99 plus tax at select merchandise locations, search for special hidden eggs themed to Disney and Pixar characters, and record their discoveries by placing the corresponding sticker on the themed Extravaganza map to represent that location. Guests can then return their map to a redemption location for an egg-citing surprise.
Wow.
I'm just going to bash this until all joy is completely smushed out of it.
Yeah, just like every day.
Yep. Redemption locations include the following merchandise shops: Disney Showcase in Disneyland, Elias and Company at Disney California Adventure, and World of Disney Store in downtown Disney. Separate park admission is required, and all joking aside...
Oh, no.
Oh, I'm not proud of myself.
No, me neither.
Guests can only receive one surprise per map. What do you think that surprise is?
Well, if it's anything like the Epcot version, I actually do know the answer to that. And it's a cute little egg-shaped character from the park. So I have the Cheshire Cat one because I did it a couple years ago, and he's shaped like an Easter egg.
Hard-boiled?
Yes, and then I ate him. I don't think I was supposed to.
But that protein.
Mm-hmm, that plastic protein. Num nums. This past March 14th, over 150 Disney volunteers, capital EARS, participated in the 4th annual Toy Fest at City of Hope, a world-class hospital and cancer research center in California. Patients and their families were treated to a choir performing a medley of Disney hits, carnival games, art classes taught by Disney artists, and special appearances by Buzz, Woody, and Jessie, Chewbacca, some stormtroopers, and of course, Mickey and Minnie. As we have reported in previous episodes, Disney has a strong legacy of supporting local hospitals, much like City of Hope. Toy Fest is just one example of Disney's commitment to reinventing the patient experience in hospitals across the world and bringing a little bit of joy to those children facing life-threatening medical conditions.
It really speaks to the dedication of the Disney employees to not only bring joy to guests in the park, but also then to carry on that mission to those that are struggling outside of the park.
Absolutely. I feel like people, specifically children in hospitals, are sort of tucked away and we don't necessarily see them because
people don't want to deal with it. They're like, hospitals can be upsetting.
Quite frankly, that's exactly right. And so it's such an inspiration to bring that joy in a hospital, and it's only for those patients, and they are so in need of it. So good job, Disney. Well done.
Absolutely. It's been a couple of episodes since we had a Star Wars Galaxy's Edge story, Patrick.
Here we go.
So
fast forward about, 25 minutes?
This is a short one.
If you don't want to hear about
it. As we reported a couple of weeks ago, Disneyland will be offering reservations to enter Star Wars Galaxy's Edge from May 31st through June 23rd.
Yes.
Guests staying at one of the 3 Disneyland Resort hotels during that window will automatically receive a reservation during their stay. Disney will also be offering reservations to non-hotel guests at some point in the near future. We learned this week that Disneyland will not be offering any kind of standby option for entrance into Galaxy's Edge from May 31st through June 23rd.
Wow. So if you don't have a reservation, you're just simply not going to get in.
You're not going to get in.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Woof.
Disneyland Vice President Chris Tyler recently stated, there will be no standby access to the land, and we want to make sure that that's clear for guests. We don't want guests coming to the park thinking, I don't have a reservation, maybe I'll just get in the queue and I'll be able to get in. We're not going to have a standby line, so it will be limited solely to those guests that have reservations. In addition, Tyler went on to note that guests with reservations would only be allowed to remain in Galaxy's Edge for a certain amount of time. He said, we will be giving guests a window of time, but we're still working through what that looks like and the duration for that. We'll be working hard to ensure that guests have enough time in the land to see all of the great things and experience the attraction. We know guests might want to stay in there all day, but we've got a whole big group that wants to get in there. We're just trying to balance all of those things and really deliver the right solution for our guests. So it sounds like a lot of work is being done to make sure that those guests that do experience the land within that first window of time can experience all that the land has to offer, while at the same time ensuring that there's a smooth kind of flow to the land and it's not just being jam-packed with people who want to stay there all day.
Yeah, this is going to be really interesting to see how it plays out. Disney has never done this before.
Yeah.
And it's also very exciting that they are sure that this is going to be a smash hit, that they want as many people to see it as possible. So this is really exciting news.
It should be noted that no advanced reservations will be needed starting June 24th, as of now. Also, very interesting, a virtual queue system is being developed for Galaxy's Edge, which will assign guests a return time based on land capacity, allowing them to experience Disneyland while waiting to enter the land.
That's a great idea.
And just so needed, right? Like, it would be great to see Disney parks as a whole kind of move to this virtual queue system. And I have a feeling that's where we're going to end up, especially for, like, the e-ticket attractions.
It's going to feel, I have to admit, a little restricting at first. Do you know what I mean? Because what I love about going to, I guess I've only been to Disney World, is the freedom while you're there to just kind of, you know what I want to do right now? I want to go get a pretzel in this park and just go do it. This is going to restrict me from doing that because I can't get into that section of the park until they tell me I can.
I think Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is its own case, right?
Oh, for sure.
I don't think we'll end up restricting areas of the parks.
Right.
But I do think that this area is going to need heavy restrictions, particularly, who knows, maybe even the first year or two.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that, like things like Flight of Passage, how awesome would it be if you had a virtual queue as opposed to, you know, just having to stand in line for hours on end, particularly during the busy season, which is all year now.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's be clear, this is going to be a moneymaker for Disney because those guests are going to be shopping and eating instead of just standing in line, not purchasing anything.
Yeah.
So smart.
They're also talking about this will be the first time where guests will be allowed a bathroom pass while they're waiting in line.
Oh my gosh.
So basically, if they need to use the restroom while they're waiting in the queue for Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run, guests will be given a lanyard and be able to exit the line, go use the restroom, and then rejoin their party at the Fast Pass merge point.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is going to be a real practice in my anxiety levels.
Yeah,
because being that cramped in makes me a little a little uneasy. So I'm going to maybe need to take some medication to get in that line.
You're right, though. It is going to be exciting to see how this all plays out and what they're going to learn from this process.
Yeah.
I have to say I'm a little relieved that I'm going towards the end of the opening window. So like hopefully they have those few weeks to kind of figure out the kinks.
Yeah.
And then by the time I get in there, I just stroll right in.
Mm-hmm. You'll bring your own kinks.
Yeah. And I usually do.
Oh, dear. Disney Theatrical Productions, responsible for Broadway hits like Beauty and the Beast, Mary Poppins, Peter and the Starcatcher, and Frozen, just to name a few, has recently announced that a new creative team has been named for the highly anticipated stage adaptation of the classic movie, The Princess Bride.
Just as we wished.
It's true.
Because he says "as you wish" in the movie.
I got it.
Okay.
It just wasn't great.
Yeah.
The show will feature original music and lyrics by David Yazbek. That's why I want to say that from now on. Who recently won the Tony Award for the band's Visit. He also has an adaptation of the movie Tootsie, currently in previews on Broadway.
I love Tootsie.
I want to see that so bad.
Oh, I love that movie.
Let's stop recording now, go see it, and come back.
Okay.
And we're back. The book will be penned by Bob Martin and Rick Ellis. Martin is a Tony Award nominee for The Drowsy Chaperone, and Ellis's credits include Jersey Boys and this season's production of The Cher Show.
That makes me a little nervous. Jersey Boys is not my favorite.
Oh.
And I have not seen The Cher Show, but I'm not a jukebox musical kind of guy.
You're not gaining any fans in this episode.
I'm being my authentic self.
And it's terrible.
Everyone hates me.
Ellis also wrote the play Peter and the Starcatcher.
Oh, well, I like that. Hey, speaking of that, you just started rehearsals for that.
I did.
We'll have our full review in an episode in May.
Fun fact, Amanda is directing it. Not so fun, Ben is also in the show.
Oh, poor Ben. We just rip him down any chance we get.
Well, he deserves it. He knows what he did.
Yeah.
The stage adaptation for The Princess Bride has been in the works for over 10 years now. Originally, William Goldman, who wrote both the novel and the screenplay, was in charge of the project along with Adam Gettle. They parted ways in 2007. The project got new breath in 2013, but tragically, Goldman passed away this past November. No release date has been set yet, but with this incredibly talented creative team in place, we may see this production on its feet within the next few years.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
If there was ever a book/movie that needed to be turned into a musical, it's this one. I could see this like reaching Spamalot levels of insanity as far as like ticket prices and like need to like see it.
Absolutely. Who would you play in the stage adaptation?
Princess Buttercup.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
I see it for you.
Who would you play?
The same. We'll have to like
every
other scene.
It's on.
And people will never know.
They will never
because we
know.
look so alike.
Samesies. I hope there's a Patter song called Anybody Want a Peanut? It's rumor time, Patrick.
Rumor has it.
As I mentioned in last week's episode, during Amanda and Ben's trip recap, Misner's Lounge, and I believe it is Misner's. I heard someone else say Misner's this week. Yeah.
Listener, there is a great divide in the world.
I think it's Misner's.
You know what? It's probably Misner's, like Les Miserables.
Yes.
As opposed to
Les Miserables. Anywho,
Yes.
Misner's Lounge in Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa will be closing on April 4th for refurbishment and expansion. According to multiple sources, it's believed the lounge will be rethemed to the Beast's ballroom and library from the 2017 live-action version of Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, okay.
Not feeling it, huh, Patrick?
I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah.
What I love about Misner's, I'll just say Misner's, is that it's sort of a respite away from all things Disney all the time.
Yep.
Which, let's be clear, I'm in Disney World, so I expect that wherever I go. But it's an adult location.
Sure.
And I fear that this will sort of damper that.
And also, I mean, just across the lake, we also have Be Our Guest. So are we doubling down on a ballroom/library situation?
Interesting.
Commander Porter's, the menswear store being consumed for the expansion, will be turned into the main bar/ballroom, as well as a castle corridor and outdoor environment from the film. The rest of the lounge will be rethemed to the library. The Grand Floridian Society Orchestra will still be on hand to provide entertainment. The lounge is expected to reopen in fall 2019.
Okay, so I got to pack my yellow ball gown when I'm there in the fall. Noted.
I love that you're pretending like you haven't already made a list and included your yellow ball gown on the list.
Yeah, let's be clear. It goes with me everywhere I go.
That's right.
You never know. I need a great reveal every once in a while.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Here's what I'll say. As long as they keep those nuts on hand, the bar snacks,
Thank you for clarifying.
I'll be just fine. I need those nuts.
I think what you said earlier is really important. I love a good Disney theme,
Of course.
but there are times when I'm at Disney World where I want more of an adult escape, like we talked about on last week's episode, going to Abracadabra, where there's still magic involved, but it does feel more like an adult space. And I'll be disappointed if Misner's becomes heavily themed to the point where you can no longer enjoy it as a quiet moment in a very busy vacation.
Or can't even get in. You know what I mean? I
Right.
bet with this theming, I bet there'll be a wait.
Yeah.
Whereas before, you could just stroll right in. And by stroll, I mean stumble, because it's stop 2 for me on the monorail crawl. Adam,
Patrick,
it's time.
it's time.
I'm going to drop an elephant on you.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah. Operation Dumbo drop.
Oh,
So-
wait, was that the movie we were supposed to be reviewing? Because I actually saw Dumbo and not Operation Dumbo Drop.
Oh, dear. This whole day has been a real mistake.
Let's smash them together and see what kind of weird baby we can create.
I'd be a great baby, I bet. A delightful one. No, we just went and saw Dumbo last night. In
We sure
fact,
did.
opening night, although technically it opened on Thursday night, if you're splitting hairs.
I don't really know why they do that. Like, they now open movies, technically opening day is Friday, but they sneak in showings on Thursday night.
I think it's for social media purposes, so
Oh,
they
yeah.
can get all those reviews out.
Yeah.
But we went and saw it on official opening night.
We're official.
We're so official.
Also, who can be bothered to go out on a Thursday night when you have work the next day?
I'm so sleepy on a Thursday
Ugh.
night, I can't do it.
Just go to bed.
So this will lead us into our spoiler-free review of Dumbo.
That's right.
What do you say we dig right into it?
Let's do, please. Do you want to start with overall impressions of the film, or do you want to dive into the cast first?
Let's dive into the cast first. I have
Okay.
to say I'm very excited to hear what you thought, because we sort of watched the movie
Yeah.
and then left.
I like to do that.
We did not talk about it at all.
Patrick and I usually say save it for the pod,
Yeah.
which means like don't express any kind of opinion or joy
Yeah.
or sadness. Just save it for the pod.
Yeah, save all of that gas for the pot.
All right, so the cast of Dumbo.
Yeah.
We had one Mr. Colin Farrell starring as Holt Farrier.
More like Hot Farrier, am I right?
He is getting better and better looking the older he gets.
These movie reviews are just going to be me objectifying all the men in the films.
That's what we've done the past few, haven't we?
yeah,
Isn't
and
that what we just do.
I'm okay with it.
He is really good looking.
Yes. Thank you, Colin. I'll be calling you later.
Oh!
Am I right? Am I right?
You are not right, because that will not happen. You don't have his number.
You don't know me.
I do feel like the older he gets, the more the kind of douche is just washed off of him from his younger days. You know, like, didn't he always used to wear like a knit cap and like torn jeans. Maybe he still does. Maybe I just don't know him in his own personal life.
I do know him in his personal life.
Okay.
I'm restricted a little bit from his personal life now.
Yeah.
No,
Legally?
yes.
By 100 feet.
By 100 plus feet. No, I see what you're saying. Yeah, he's getting more buttoned up and more, I don't know, hot dad-like now.
Or is it just him in these roles? Because the past few roles we've seen him in, like I'm thinking of Saving Mr. Banks and now this, both Disney movies.
Yeah.
He's in a certain time period where I think the clothes really suit him. It's like those pants with the suspenders. And he's also played very sympathetic characters in both of those movies. So maybe that's a part of it too.
That could be it. I'm still here for the bad boy Colin, though.
Ugh, take a shower. That was bad boy Colin.
With me. Oh, we have to move on.
Are we just going to gloss over his performance? Is that what we're going to talk about later?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
I think I know where this is going. Michael Keaton was also in the film as V.A. Vanderveer, who plays kind of a almost evil Walt Disney-esque type character.
Sure.
Did you
That's
get
a good,
that?
yeah, that's a good way of saying it. He's looking great.
He is also looking very good.
He looks almost just like he did in Batman with grayer hair.
Well, I mean, I don't know if I'd go that far, but
His physique, I mean, like, he is keeping it tight. Let's be clear. When I talk about the men in these movies, that's all I'm referencing.
Yeah, well, speaking of keeping it tight, Danny DeVito is also in the film. He plays Max Medici, the owner of the circus.
True story.
Yeah.
Also bringing it back to Batman.
I know. Well, Tim Burton, who directed this film, clearly
Yeah.
has his favorites.
He sure does.
Yeah.
He handpicked a really stellar cast.
Did he? Also in the film.
Uh-oh.
Also in the film, Eva Green, who plays Colette Marchand.
Mm-hmm.
And what is she called in the film? She's called like the goddess of the sky or something like that. Or
Something like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. She's an aerialist.
Yes, she is.
Not the mermaid kind.
Correct. She's French in the film.
She sure is.
Is she French in real life? I don't think so.
Such a good question.
Yeah, but her accent was impeccable, I thought. Like,
Okay.
I fully believed that she was a French woman.
Great.
Yeah. Oh, this is going to get interesting, people. Also in the cast, inexplicably, Alan Arkin. What was he doing in this movie?
He was like in the neighborhood and he was like, hey. That's my Alan Arkin impression.
Tim Burton is like,
Hey,
you want to do a
guys."
walk-on in this movie?
Yeah.
He plays J. Griffin Remington, who is kind of a financier looking to invest possibly and promote maybe Dreamland, which is Michael Keaton's kind of Disneyland-esque type theme park.
Yes, not the Dreamland in Miss Saigon. Very different.
Can you imagine?
I can.
The heat is on in Saigon. How are you doing there, John? Those lines are just...
Dumbo.
Dumbo, what are you doing here? The children in the movie were played by Nico Parker, who played Millie Ferrier, and Finley Hobbins, who played Joe Ferrier.
Fun fact, Nico Parker is the daughter of Tandy Newton of Westworld.
You would never know it by looking at her. That is a baby Tandy Newton.
It's Crazy Town. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute.
So these two play Colin Farrell's children in the film, who are motherless.
Yes.
And are basically wards of the circus while Colin Farrell's character is away at war.
Another fun fact, this is only the second time in Disney's entire history that they have a biracial family.
What was the first time?
A Wrinkle in Time.
Oh, sure. Oh, those are both sadly so recent.
Mm-hmm. I know, isn't that... Yeah.
Very odd.
Good job, Disney,
Yeah.
but man alive.
Yeah, I mean, all of Hollywood really needs to make giant strides in that direction.
Correct.
But yeah, it's sad that we're commenting on that, and it's 2019.
We say that a lot about movies, but we need to get to a point where it's no longer a topic.
Also in the cast, one Ms. Sandy Martin, who plays Verna the secretary, and she's probably the star of the film, if you
Yeah.
ask me.
Yeah.
And she, of course, is Mac's mom on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. So she talks like this, like she's smoking and
That joke was for 3 people in the world who know that.
and we only have one listener, so we're in trouble, Patrick.
Uh-oh.
So that's kind of the core cast, the big names that everyone knows.
Save Dumbo, of course.
Dumbo, yes, played by Haley Joel Osment. What an odd choice, right?
Yeah, I was unexpected.
Yeah.
Some called it brave. I called it dangerous.
Yeah, it's very dangerous. As I mentioned earlier, the film was directed by Tim Burton,
Legendary Tim Burton.
and the screenplay was by Aaron Kruger.
Which is an odd choice for this film because his bigger credits were the Transformers movies, the Ring movies, Scream 3, like a lot of horror films.
I wouldn't say it worked out well for Dumbo. I mean, I'm not saying that Dumbo gets axed in the movie like in a horror film.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that maybe the screenplay could have been better by a lot.
By a factor of everything.
Yeah. All right, so that's the cast and kind of the creative.
Although we'd be remiss if we left out Danny Elfman,
music, of
who
course.
scored the movie.
Yeah.
Which I really loved. That was maybe a highlight of the movie for me, was the music in the movie. And it ended there.
All right, so we got to stop beating about the bush, because I was thinking about, Patrick, how are we going to talk about this? Listen, I want to be a positive person.
Of course.
And anyone who listens to the podcast knows that I'm a fan of Disney. I can also be skeptical of Disney. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But this movie, for me, did not work.
That is a very polite way to say it.
Thank you.
I think our listener out there also appreciates that I try to be so positive, or I guess I am, and you are a negative Nancy all the time.
What?
I'm just kidding. No, but I too can be skeptical.
Sure. And we have
when it's warranted.
And let me just say, I think as Disney fans, we have a right to be, right? We invest a lot of money in the parks and in films and in merchandise.
Yeah.
And I think we're allowed to have a say when we feel that things aren't necessarily up to the par or level that they should be.
And I, of the two of us, am more of a fan of the live-action remakes.
Absolutely.
But I do have standards.
Sure.
And this met none of my standards.
Yes. Yeah.
I have to say, unfortunately. I was so excited about this movie. Dumbo is one of my favorite characters in the Disney canon. And while the Dumbo character in this movie was cute and beautiful and well orchestrated CGI-wise, the movie surrounding him was kind of a dumpster fire.
Yeah. To put it very eloquently. I think this spoiler-free review, I just processed what you said, and you're correct. As I was trying to process like how I was going to approach this, it's like, it's a real practice in simile and analogy for me. So here we go.
Yeah.
Because it's circus themed, right? This movie for me is like cotton candy, right? Beautiful to look at. You think you want it. You put some in your mouth and you're like, oh dear. And then you kind of get sick on it, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just too much.
It just falls apart.
It falls apart. Yeah. And for me, the main issue I had in this film, aside from the script, which we'll get to, or maybe we kind of already addressed.
Yeah.
But when you have your title character as a CGI character, I think you need to ground the rest of the movie in complete reality in order to make that work. The problem for me was the first 20 minutes of this movie and a large portion of it afterwards, but the first 20 minutes when you're kind of getting a feel for the movie and what it's going to be like, I don't think there was one untouched moment in that movie where it wasn't just completely based in CGI. And I lost an investment early on in the film.
Interesting.
Because I didn't feel like I needed to do any work, and I don't like that feeling. I want to be able to think, and I want to be able to question, and I want to be able to examine an environment. And when everything is fake around me, it makes me kind of pull back and realize I don't need to do that.
Interesting. I actually have a very different take on that. I only loved the visual aspect of this movie, and musically, I guess.
I'm not saying it wasn't beautiful.
Okay.
I'm just saying that I don't think, again, going back to the cotton candy thing, cotton candy's beautiful, but there's nothing there. There's no substance to it.
See, that to me feels like a script issue and not a visual issue.
Oh, yeah. No, for me, the visual was trying to make up for the script issues and unsuccessfully doing so, maybe kind of overdoing it to try to compensate. I don't know.
Interesting. I think I'm going the other direction in that I wanted the script to meet the standards that the visuals were creating.
I would have loved that too.
You know what I mean? So I feel like if it was a better script, you may have appreciated everything as a whole more. And so this wouldn't have been such a standout or an eyesore to you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess maybe I'm very ineloquently trying to explain it, but it's almost like losing depth when you have so much CGI. There's no layers there. It's all just very flat, like a painting, and so there's no even kind of grasp at any kind of grounded realism, particularly when you need it most in a fantasy that takes place in a gritty circus. Like I just like, it wasn't working for me.
Okay, fair enough. Watch out, Lion King. Adam's coming for you.
And unlike you, Patrick, I was not super excited for this movie. I was going into it kind of neutral, honestly. Like, Dumbo is not one of my favorite animated films. But after having watched the previews, I was thinking this could work. Like, I was thinking they could actually pull this off. And I was excited that Tim Burton was the director. I thought he might have the vision to pull it off. But leaving the film, for me, it just didn't happen.
Yeah, everything just sort of fell short in this movie. All of the moments that I'm expecting to happen because I know the original animated film so well were there.
Yeah.
But then they just sort of tapered off in a weird way of like, oh, we're going to make you cry. Nope, just kidding. We're not going to make you cry at all. It was really unsatisfying. It was like sitting down to your favorite dinner and there's no seasoning in the food.
Correct.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep, I get that. I get that.
It was very disappointing, and I want to apologize to our listener out there because this sounds like we are just ripping this movie apart and being very negative about it. But like you said earlier, it's warranted, and that's okay. And this is, of course, our opinion.
Right.
I'm sure there are many people out there who enjoyed this movie, and they are all incorrect. No, just kidding. But it's interesting. We often differ on opinions in movies, and I feel like we're on the exact same page with this one.
Going back to the script, and I couldn't tell if this was script or editing, but just give us something to land on, please.
Yeah.
There were so many weird, short scenes. I don't even know how to describe it. Like fast cuts and not like in an action sequence, but just like short snippets of scenes. And there was no opportunity to become invested in these characters because there was no chance for them to talk. It was just like cut, 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 cut.
Yes.
And then when they did talk, and Patrick, this is a big pet peeve of mine. When they did talk, it was frequently lines like, and this is not a spoiler because everyone's seen the cartoon, right? Dumbo is performing in the circus and he doesn't have a feather, so he doesn't think he can fly, right? The kids say, he needs a feather, otherwise he thinks he can't fly. Like, that's a line in the script.
Yeah, they feed it to us.
Stop it. Please give the audience some credit. And this is not just Dumbo. This is, I think, a problem that a lot of writers have in Hollywood. Film is a visual medium. We get it. We know what's happening. We've been introduced to the fact that he thinks he needs a feather to fly. We do not need lines like that spoon-fed to us, please.
Yeah, for sure. My problem with the script is that I didn't know what the movie was about. I couldn't find a moral that I could land on.
What is the overarching message of this film?
Exactly. And to me, Dumbo has always been about taking your insecurities and making them your power.
Yeah.
Right? And sort of flipping the script on people and going, you know what? You're telling me that this is my downfall, but guess what? It's what makes me who I am.
Yeah.
And that's great.
Yeah.
It was right there for us and for the screenwriter to do, and he didn't do it.
Right.
I was so confused by that. I was like, why? What is this movie about?
If you don't have the story figured out to begin with, nothing's going to work.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
You can put as much makeup on this film as you want to, but if the story's not there and the overall message isn't there, we're not going to walk away feeling satisfied.
Yeah, fair enough.
So can we now talk about the performances? That sounded really aggressive, but I don't know how else to approach this other than I don't believe the actors felt invested in this movie at all. I felt like they just showed up to get their paycheck. Danny DeVito, did he even know what movie he was in? There was no character there. It was just Danny DeVito. I mean, I would rather have seen The Penguin, honestly.
Well, yeah.
And it could have worked. It was a circus.
Yeah, again, I'm going to fall back on everything just fell short, and that includes most of the performances in the movie. These are all outstanding award-nominated, award-winning actors, and boy, oh boy, the talent was just directed right out of them.
And I get it. Tim Burton has an aesthetic, right? And sometimes that aesthetic is that his characters are a bit removed or a bit distant. Like you think of like Lydia and Beetlejuice, or you think of characters in Edward Scissorhands. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like a real world setting with fantastical elements, right?
Yep.
And there's always these characters that are a little bit more solemn and somber. But man alive, Patrick, the kids, particularly the little girl in this movie, I'm like, I think this was a Tim Burton choice, maybe, that she was very scientific and analytical, but there was no attachment to her at all. I was just completely checked out whenever she was on screen. Both of the kids, honestly. And I hate to say that about kids, and I was trying to think, like, during the movie, would it have been better to have, like, those super rambunctious and, like, oh boy type of kids, or, like, the more solemn kids? And I don't know what the answer is, but it was not these children that I wanted to be seeing on the screen.
Yowza. Yeah, I want to stay away from personally critiquing their skills because they are children. And in fact, I don't think it was their fault. I think this was, again, a fault of the script where, I mean, she had lines like, I'm a scientist, so I don't smile. It's like, okay, I don't need that. Just, if you're going to go for it, and that's fine, and let me do the work on my own. And I think that they were fully directed and written to be characters that I can't attach myself to. So they did what they could, is what I'm thinking. Or they did what they were told to do, and it was incorrect, in my opinion. I would love to see these two kids do something else so I could fully understand their level. But unfortunately, I think they're both pretty newcomers, and so this is their first attempt in a film, and sadly, the script and the direction failed them.
Was there a larger story here that just got cut to bits in editing, or was there an initial draft that was submitted to Disney and they were like, this is too dark, or this is too something or other, and they just ended up hacking it, or it got put through the grinder to become this kind of mushy, substanceless product?
That's a good question. Who knows? Something went wrong in this movie, I think. Like I said before, I wanted so badly to like it. Story-wise, it didn't work. It was, I don't know if it was the editing, if it was the script, if it was the director, if it was all of those things. I couldn't attach myself to anything in this movie, except for it was visually beautiful and the sound was great. The costumes were beautiful, I thought. Colleen Atwood, who's one of my very favorite costume designers. She's done Fantastic Beasts, Mrs. Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, Alice Through the Looking Glass. I mean, she's done so many movies that I love.
All of Tim Burton's movies, really.
Yeah, pretty much. And she delivered. It looked great. But if you dress up a turd, it's still a turd.
Yes.
Oh, I feel so bad. I apologize, listener, that this is not going the way you may have wanted it to go, but we're just being honest about it. And again, this is our opinion.
Feel free to go to the movie theater and spend your $12+ and check it out for yourself, or you can wait a couple of months and it'll be on Disney Plus when that launches. I almost guarantee it.
Oh, of course it will. Speaking of, I'm guessing we had some people write into us with their opinions. Should we move on to that?
We sure did.
All right.
Let's hope there's some light and joy in these comments.
I know. It's such a turn for me to be negative about something. You know what I mean? It feels weird.
Yeah, but I think there's a difference between applying negativity or criticizing something when it's warranted as opposed to when it's unwarranted. We wouldn't be expressing ourselves in this way if we didn't feel so passionate about Disney, and we know the good things that they can produce. And so it's just disappointing to experience this, which was not a good thing.
Fair enough.
Robbie Star 1 on Instagram commented, "It was Dumbo-rific, pure Disney magic that lifts you up and makes your heart soar." There you go, Disney. You can put that on a poster.
Wow.
And Rod Meets World on Instagram said, "So I have a mixed review on it. I like how they incorporated new ways of bringing the classic film in new scenes. If you've seen the film, you know that the film also plays satire to the Disney parks as well. It's pretty great to see the parallels. Overall, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. Rewatchable, but there are some things I am not a huge fan of with the film."
Something I was thinking about that's giving me some interesting consideration is that the original movie, while also beautiful and actually did have a storyline, which was nice, also had its problems. Like, it's a little bit racially problematic in moments. And so I know that Disney wanted to steer clear of a lot of those moments and needed to come up with kind of a different twist on Dumbo and give us a new story. And so, in doing so, created its own problems for this movie.
Yeah, I mean, well, the original film is about an hour. It's not that long. And so there's not a ton of existing story to pull from for there. And with this new version, the live-action version of Dumbo, I would say that first hour of the film, or maybe even 45 minutes of the film, is basically Dumbo, the animated film.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of references and nods. Timothy the Mouse makes a little cameo, if you will. Yeah, you're right. It stops being Dumbo about 45 minutes in and turns into a different story.
Which I get, they needed to expand on that story. I get that.
Well, especially because this is, again, another live-action remake where the animals in the original movie talked and in this movie do not talk at all. So they needed to create a different story fully. Whereas
I mean, Timothy did, and the birds did, like the crows did, but Mrs. Jumbo and Dumbo never talked. Or did she sing to him? Was she the one actually singing to him, or was that an overlay in the?
I think that was
film?
That was an overlay.
Okay.
Yeah, and frankly, I maybe would have rather have seen them just do the original story of Dumbo, save for a few problematic moments,
right? Yeah.
Instead of having all these actors around them. I just didn't need the actors.
Especially if it meant maintaining that sense of heart and connection that the animated film had.
Boy, oh boy, when I hear the song Baby Mine, because of the cartoon version, it's hard for me not to well up.
Right.
Whereas now it's like, it's hard for me to well up now because of this new version.
Yeah.
Well, I still love that song, though. And Arcade Fire did a great version of it for the end credits.
Yeah, too bad you had to sit through a whole movie to hear it.
Well, no, you don't, because you just get the soundtrack. I'll give a little shout out to my friend Becca, who gave a really great review on her YouTube channel. It's Disney Kitty, Kittee. She saw it on Thursday.
Oh, great.
And she uploaded her video Friday morning, and she gives a really probably a lighter.
Sure.
She was a little kinder than we were, but I think she had the same thoughts. So if you want to see another review with a little bit of a better take on it, then go over there and see it. She's really great.
Softer Dumbo review.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a really good review, though. So I think we know our overall impressions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big ears. Those ears were big.
Big ears, big shoes to fill. They didn't quite fill those shoes.
Fair enough.
I have questions. I'm left with questions, and I really want to know what happened. I want to see the story development, which I'll probably never see. I want to know if this movie was problematic to produce, if there were issues that they experienced. I want to know if there were we know there are major script issues, but was that always the case, or was it just edited down to nothing? It's upsetting to me, and it makes me nervous for live action films going forward. I know I shouldn't apply this to all of them, but I got to say, Patrick, with the exception of maybe Cinderella, the live action version of Cinderella, I just have not been impressed with the live action films I've seen so far. So I guess Disney can continue to kind of hammer away at these classic films and hope for gold. I mean, I know they're still going to get box office draw, right? Like they're going to make tons of money off of them, and that's great. But some of these reimaginings of things, and this isn't me speaking to like holding childhood things so dear, because I don't mind a reinterpretation of something, but I can only take so much disappointment before I completely just check out and say, I can't do this anymore regarding the live action films.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment. I haven't been so disappointed by the live action films. This is maybe the first time I have been disappointed in one.
Good.
Fully. I mean, I know that Disney, what they do visually is impeccable, and that bar keeps getting raised. I think the issue for me is that they aren't elevating the scripts to that standard. It just needs to catch up. Do you know what I mean? They're putting all their eggs in one basket. I know it shouldn't be. I'm just saying it is the case right now.
Right.
They're just putting all their eggs in one basket. And so when you rely on one thing and leave everything else to the side, it's not going to work.
So do you feel that they're just getting ahead of themselves too much visually, and they're like, we can do this now, we can do this now, and then they're like, oh, we'll worry about this, we'll go back and like anybody can write the script, so we'll give it to a Transformers writer and a horror film writer, and just hope for the best.
Maybe.
But visually it'll be amazing, so we'll bank on that.
Maybe, because they're going to sell that merch.
Yeah.
The Dumbo plushes that are out there right now are so adorable.
And make an appearance in the movie
yeah, they
twice.
Sure do. Made me want to buy one because they're so cute. They're so cute. I just want them to push everything else to meet those levels.
Or just pump the brakes a little and take the time to have a truly amazing script.
Yeah.
And then move forward with the film. I mean, that's film 101, but maybe I'm just like, I don't understand how things work in Hollywood, and I clearly don't, because I'm not a mega movie star yet.
Yes, you are.
Oh, thank you. Wait, April Fools?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so now that we've depressed everyone out there about our review of Dumbo,
yeah,
I'm really interested as more people see it, to hear what they think about it.
Absolutely.
Because maybe I need to watch it again. Who knows? You know, I had 2 martinis beforehand. Maybe that affected me. Who can say?
You think that would have improved your enjoyment of it? Did you see pink elephants after those martinis?
I always see pink elephants.
Yeah.
That's the medication that I'm on, though.
The pink elephants? Is that the street name for the drug you're taking?
Yep.
Have some of these pink elephants, man.
Well, this turned into a conversation about my drug habits.
I'm enjoying it more than talking about the movie, quite honestly.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Here's what I'll say. It didn't ruin the character of Dumbo for me. I still have a place in my heart for Dumbo.
Patrick, I gotta say, that's a silver lining of this.
Yeah.
You won't go back now and watch the animated film and think, oh, that live action one ruined the animated film. It did not. They're two completely separate things.
Yeah. But and even just the character of Dumbo, I think, even though he's a cartoon and a live action CGI character, did what he needed to do, and I was invested in, and I visually loved him. But everything around the movie, save for Dumbo, like I said, was a dumpster fire.
If you'd like to share your thoughts on the live action version of Dumbo, and we highly encourage you to do so,
please do,
because we want to know.
Yeah.
You can reach out to us on social media at GDTD Podcast.
Or you can, of course, email us at info@gaysdothed.com.
Do you think they'll make a sequel? Dumbo and Dumboer?
Oh.
Patrick,
Hey, Adam.
I've got a fantastic idea.
What's that?
Let's wash all that yuckiness off of us from our Dumbo review
Yeah.
by exploring some quick D.
I love to explore D.
Yeah.
Yep, I'll stand by that.
Okay. So this week we're going to do Quick D question again. Quick D classic.
Original D.
And for those of you that don't know, a Quick D question is when Patrick and I come up with a question, which is why it's called Quick D question. And we ask each other said question.
Yeah.
And neither of us knows what the other one is going to ask. Question.
Say question one more time.
Question.
Slap.
All right. Do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
I want you to go first.
Okay. That sounds great.
Thank you.
Here's my Quick D question for you.
Slap it on me.
Patrick,
Yes.
what animated Disney film would you like to see turned into a live-action film that hasn't already been announced? And who would you cast to play or voice its leads?
Oh, goodness. I'm clearly going with Bambi on this one.
Okay.
Live action Bambi, y'all.
Okay, now it begs the question.
Yeah.
Actors playing the characters or CGI?
Actors playing the characters.
I love it. You're going for realism.
Yeah.
But also expressionism.
It's going to be somebody in a deer suit.
Yep.
Walking around.
I like it.
On stilts for hands.
Yeah.
To keep up with the legs.
So kind of like a Julie Taymor-inspired moment.
Only better.
Okay, yeah. She hasn't done it well enough yet.
Step aside, Taymor. Here comes Patrick.
Yeah. All right, so Thumper's also going to be a human. Flower's going to be a human.
All humans.
But the hunters are going to be
Birds.
turning it around. I like it.
It's a bunch of birds standing on top of each other, forming a human.
Like wearing
Shooting
a
a
hunting
gun.
coat.
Yep.
Classic.
Yep, absolutely. This is $1 million idea, don't you think?
I think so.
Okay, so we don't have to cast the hunter because it's birds standing on top of each other.
Right.
Wearing a big trench coat
Yep.
to fool everybody.
Right. That's how it's done.
There's a line in there somewhere. That's for the birds.
Oh, I love
Hunting's
it.
for the birds.
Yep. Great.
The script
Great.
is amazing already as well.
Perfect.
Thank you so
Better
much.
than Dumbo.
Thank you so much. Tilda Swinton is playing Bambi.
Okay. Yes, she is. That is actually a great choice.
Thank you so much. She doesn't have to do anything with her hair because she's already that orangey color.
Right, and her eyes are just like so perfect.
Correct.
Prominent.
Yep. That icy cold stare of hers.
Yeah, okay. I don't think we've ever seen her in quite so warm a role before. Like, she will be beloved after this film.
She can do anything.
Could earn her an Oscar, quite frankly.
Finally.
Yeah.
Kate Blanchett plays Thumper.
Okay. If anybody's up to that challenge, it's Madame Blanchett.
Cast in the role as Flower is John Goodman.
Oh dear. Okay.
Yeah, it's correct. Think on it. You'll be like, you know what? Genius
After I
casting.
think about it, okay. Yeah. I mean, okay. I would have cast him as something else, but yeah.
As the wise old owl.
Yeah. Doesn't he seem perfect for that?
Do you know who does seem perfect for that?
Ooh, tell me.
Oprah Winfrey.
Yep. Sure.
Wise old owl.
Sure. So, and perfect synergy because she'll be doing the Spaceship Earth narration and then just pivot.
Can't you just hear her?
Wise old owl.
Twitter-pated.
Yeah.
Such a good Oprah.
You really nailed that.
Yeah. I'm going to get nailed in the head by somebody who doesn't. Who else? Who else is in this movie?
Well, Bambi's mother. Who's going to play Tilda's mommy?
Also Tilda Swinton.
Oh, dual role.
It's going to be real meta.
Yeah. So they'll probably do that thing where like she's larger as the mom and smaller as Bambi.
Yeah.
Oh, and what's Bambi's girlfriend's name?
If you'll consider our episode Take 2 of Bambi.
I know. Way back in the day.
The answer is obviously.
I want to say it's like Fauna, but that's not right?
It's Bambette.
Feline.
Feline, of course it is.
Yeah.
Feline will be played by Ashley Simpson.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why? And how did that pop into your head?
I don't have any idea. But can't you just see it? You can. I'll answer that for you. The answer is yes.
Gosh.
Yes,
I mean,
and
yes, and you're right. I should be saying yes, and
Jessica Simpson will be playing Bambi's father.
Patrick, how often have I said, is there anyone more majestic than Jessica Simpson?
You say it daily to me.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
It's a little annoying how much.
Sometimes I'll just call you midday and be like, Patrick, Jessica Simpson, majestic.
Majestic AF.
By the way, congratulations, Jessica Simpson. They just had a new baby.
Aww. A new Bambi.
A new
they
Bambi.
Had a new Bambi.
Yeah. And what about Thumper's girlfriend, that very voluptuous,
oh, yeah.
like sexy rabbit? Who's she?
Bruno Mars.
Yeah, oh, wow. Well, that works out well because then he can probably do like the song in the credits.
He sure can.
Yeah, which would be what?
Well, the song is called I Don't Twitter Pate Ya.
Oh, yep.
I Twitter Love Ya.
Yep, great.
Thank you.
Great. I can't wait to hear it.
Here's a few bars.
Okay, great.
No, I'm not going to sing that song.
Oh.
Copyright infringement.
I was excited for a second, but we'll have to wait for the film.
Yeah, a lot of people say that to me. I was excited for a second. That's all I need to say. All right, Adam.
Yes.
Have I got a quick D for you?
Oh, I'm excited.
Don't be so hesitant when you say that to me.
I'm a little scared.
I'm excited.
Okay.
I want to harken back a few episodes to our interview with Deke Sharon.
Okay.
Disney needs another a cappella group. Now that Deke Capella is off to Japan right now,
Okay.
they need somebody to take their place here in these United States.
Okay.
It's you, Adam.
I'm my own a cappella group.
Well, you can have a group if you need to, or you can do it solo if you want to.
Okay.
What's the name of your a cappella group?
Animotion.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah. In
Quite-
fact,
Yeah.
I think maybe Deke should be considered Deke Capella
He is.
and consider Animotion.
Animotion. Any signature songs?
For sure.
Okay, tell me about them.
I do the entire Hoop-Dee-Doo review catalog, the entire show by myself.
Good.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. And
Do you also serve chicken while you're doing it?
I eat chicken while I'm doing it.
Is that your signature move?
That's my signature move, really, at any moment of my life.
How is he eating chicken and singing at the same time?
Yeah, it's like when a ventriloquist drinks water with its puppet or with its ventriloquist doll.
Yeah, for sure.
I eat chicken while I'm singing a cappella by myself.
You're so talented.
Thank you.
You're welcome. What do you wear? What's your costume?
I wear kind of an amalgamation of all of the nations from It's a Small World.
Good.
But when I say that, I actually mean the doll's skins
Oh, gosh.
and their clothing covering my body while I'm eating fried chicken and singing by myself.
Wow, this is a real treat.
Yeah.
A real treat for the eyes and
Well,
the ears.
I don't want people walking in thinking that they've seen this before, and this is something they probably have not seen before.
Yeah, I think you're going to get a lot more people walking out than you are walking in. I don't know how
need
that's
them.
possible
I don't need
mathematically.
them. I'm doing this for art, Patrick. I'm not doing it for financial gain.
Yeah.
And I'm certainly not doing it for the attention.
No. No. Or the good reviews.
No, I mean, why? Why would I want good reviews? It means that, what, I'm appealing to someone?
Yeah.
That's not art. Appealing to someone is not art.
Well, you're going to be real successful in your own mind then.
You need to...
You appeal to no one.
Correct. You need to upset and appeal to no one.
I like that.
That's how you know you're a successful artist.
That's going to be the review. Upsetting.
Unappealing.
Animotion. Upsetting. That will do it for this episode of Gays Do the D. Thanks for listening. Ratings and reviews are greatly appreciated and help people find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, and Stitcher. To become a patron of the podcast, visit our website at gaysdothed.com/donate. For a donation of any amount, you can receive exclusive Gays Do the D content and help us continue to bring you the very best Disney news and discussion. Continue the conversation after this episode on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at GDTD Podcast. Submit your questions or show ideas to info@gaysdothed.com. Have a great week, everybody. See ya real soon.